Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you all for joining us on this celebration of the class of 2020 from Bard College. This is not a commencement. There are no gowns. There are really no speeches. We would like to focus on the achievements of this graduating class, which has accomplished an extraordinary amount in very difficult circumstances, unprecedented. I hope this is the last time we have to do this sort of thing. This weekend would have been commencement weekend. There will be a commencement weekend at the end of August, and all of the bells and whistles of a commencement will be present there. And we look forward to having you here with us. I want to thank all the students and their families in particular, and their friends, and the faculty of the college, which really stepped up to the proverbial plate, if you'll pardon my athletic metaphor, to really work with students during this very difficult semester, particularly seniors, as seniors finish their senior projects. I want to thank the trustees of the college for their support, and want to really take this hour, this presentation will take a little bit more than an hour, as a kind of gift from the entire community to the class of 2020, and to give them a sense of accomplishment and joy. This past Wednesday, the faculty recommended the degrees that we will give out, and also then submitted them to the trustees, who voted them yesterday at the last meeting of this academic year. Altogether, the class of 20 consists of about exactly 432 undergraduate degrees. This is a celebration just for the undergraduates. We're not going to celebrate the achievements of the graduate students. 151 of you, I'm speaking now directly of the class of 2020, finished your degrees in social studies, 144 in the arts, and 82 in science, mathematics, and computing, and 72 in languages and literature. 25 of you did double majors, and 16 of you are graduating as well with a double degree, one in the conservatory. This is a very, very diverse and very accomplished group, and the awards to this group will be given out at the senior dinner at the end of August. So I would like to get going with the program, and our first speaker is Jim Chambers from class of 81, who entered Bard in the fall of 75, the same semester I did. I think I met him in the first week when he was a first year student. He is a farmer, he's a filmmaker, he's an activist. He graduated in drama dance in those days, which we now call theater, and a wonderful friend of the college, and with a large family that went to the college, and a wonderful mother who was a trustee of the college, and has been a fantastic leader of this institution in these difficult times. So without further ado, Jim Chambers, our chairman.
Hello, our graduates. I'm coming to you from the ATL, masked up in my kitchen, in my fermentation laboratory, in my chocolate laboratory, wishing you all the greatest, sincere pre-toast, gloves in hand, for the graduation that, knock on wood, we will hold in August. But such a job well done to all of you for however long it took you to graduate. And we shall see you in August for the real deal. Have a healthy, safe summer to you and all your family. And, oh, my name is Jim Chambers. I'm the chairman of the board of trustees of Bard College, class of 1981. Go Raptors. So on the behalf of the board, my colleagues, and fellow alums, healthy summer in preparation for your next phase post-Bard. Stay connected to Bard. Wear your masks. We love you. We cherish you. Congratulations. Go Raptors.
Jake, am I on?
You're on. Jim, you're on.
Oh, I am on. Excuse me, I can't see that I'm on, so I'm talking to a black screen. So can you see me, Leon?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So yes, excuse me for looking at a black screen. So I am not going to be long. I am in what I call affectionately the dumbest state in the union, Georgia, right now. But I am so grateful to be able to be grateful. And I am so grateful to be able to be here with all of you to give you a pre-toast for the real deal, for the journey that you have taken with your colleagues, with your families, with your friends, with your loved ones to graduate Bard. I know how difficult in normal times graduating from Bard can be. I don't know if you noticed the difference between Leon saying we met in his first week of 1975 and me graduating in 1981. I was supposed to graduate in 1979. It took me 3 extra semesters. So even in the most usual of times, I know how atypical a Bard journey can be. And in these times, when we've been thrown curveballs, as we have been, it is even more exemplary of you to have graduated as a Bard graduate, excuse me. And, you know, all I can say is we always get curveballs in life. It's a question of how we get up off the mat. As we get a little older, it gets a little harder. Take your vitamins, do your yoga, breathe. But it's a question of getting up off the mat. And we are so proud, Board of Trustees and my fellow alums, to welcome you into the graduating class of 2020. Congratulations. We look forward to your journeys after Bard, and we look forward to seeing you in August. Go Raptors, go Bard.
I think everybody knows this, to underscore how important not only the trustees and have been in this year, and particularly Jim and the leadership of the board, but the people who run the college. And many of you, the students, know who they are. They include the deans, they include the administrative staff, everyone down to the people who work in the food service and the environmental services and B&G, people we rarely recognize as much as we should. This is a wonderful community who rose to the challenge of protecting the college and protecting the many students who remained on campus and helped those who had to go home and who actually made finishing the semester possible. Everybody finished and reasonably on time. And so it's a remarkable performance, and by the student body and by the senior class. And the dean of the college is a wonderful teacher, a professor of literature, who did her undergraduate work at Barnard and her PhD at Harvard, who then came to Bard in 1991. And she's been dean since 2018 and has led this college in this difficult time with great calm and wisdom. So Deirdre Dalbert, the dean of the college.
President Botstein, colleagues, families, friends, and members of the class of 2020, I'm truly honored to be able to speak with you virtually as we celebrate today this very special class of graduates. We will meet again soon, as the president has said, for commencement. This moment is bittersweet, and I want to acknowledge the tremendous courage and fortitude of the entire student body of Bard College, but especially of our seniors over these last few months. The faculty is proud beyond measure of your determination to meet unprecedented challenges this spring, completing your senior projects with critical awareness of the fragility and the value of so much previously taken for granted in our daily lives as members of this community. We rejoice in the spirit of tenacity you have found and you have cultivated within yourselves, not only to persist, but to invent. You are discovering new ways of thinking, making meaning, and doing what you care about in this world. Your fearless integrity as thinkers, artists and researchers, poets and scientists, citizens and activists inspire us, your teachers, with great and surpassing hope to believe in the collective human capacity we have to meet challenges before us. On behalf of the entire faculty of Bard College, I celebrate with you today and with your families, and we anticipate with great eagerness and affection our soon to come reunion with you all as we gather together for commencement in Annandale.
Thank you, Deirdre. I want to stress that this celebration is very informal. And before I introduce the next speaker, I wanted to say that we thought it would be great for the class and their families to have a sort of sampler, a gift from various graduating seniors. And since it's hard to show somebody doing something in a lab and very hard for someone to argue a mathematical proposition or even a philosophical proposition, or even to read poetry or translations and do all the things that the majority of our students do, we thought we would turn to the arts division, both the visual and the performing arts, and see who's around and who would be willing and courageous enough to participate in a kind of sampler, if you will, of what the class has accomplished. So this is just a random sample, people who are here on campus, people whom we could round up easily. And the person who spends most of his time helping students and communicate with them and communicates with them in support is someone known to all, our Dean of Studies, who came to Bard in 1999, teaches philosophy, and is Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs, and a wonderful and sympathetic and empathetic mentor to many students. So I'm going to turn to David Shine, who will introduce material from the visual arts.
Hi, seniors. I want to congratulate you on the completion of your last semester of coursework and, of course, on the completion of your senior projects. And I don't mean to reduce your senior year experience to just a couple of classes, but Spraj really is what the senior year is about, isn't it? We ask you to develop a vision for a year-long project, then we challenge you to figure out how you might execute that vision, and then we ask you to do it. And you did it. And then, just as you were settling into the final months of work on it, just when for many of you things were beginning to come together, just when you were gearing up for the final months of Spraj, the final push, just then your world went upside down. Many of you wound up working from unfamiliar places, without the familiar resources of library and studio and laboratory, without the familiar faces of faculty and friends, without campus routines and supports. And still you did it. You rose to the challenge, you adjusted, you got creative, you figured out how to finish your projects in ways that allowed you to continue to make meaning of your subject matter and your experience. What you wound up doing may not have been what you thought you would do when you started, but you ended up exactly where you need to be. I suspect that for many of you, this is a portrait in miniature of the past 4 years. So congratulations. We're proud of you for finishing Bard. We're grateful to you for contributing so much to our community along the way. And we salute you for finishing in such weird circumstances. Over the past few weeks, I've been reading through the projects in the digital commons. I've been struck by the variety of modes of engagement I see there. So much inventiveness, so much nimbleness and creativity. I see real intellectual and artistic engagement. I've seen a commitment to craft and discipline, an appreciation of the need for interdisciplinarity, an appreciation of complexity, humor, a willingness to experiment. Again, a portrait in miniature of your time at Bard. As I read through this digital archive, though, something's missing. The readings, the performances, the art openings and exhibitions, the film screenings, these are all parts of the senior project experience. They're all parts of what it means to be in Annandale in this spring. And we're missing them. Since we can't all be here to see them, we've decided to bring this a little bit of Annandale to you. It's not quite an opening. It's not quite a screening. But here are the artists and photographers and filmmakers of the Bard College class of 2020.
I don't know. Can you ask another?
There we were.
What's my biggest pet peeve? How about when I'm in line at the store with 10 people waiting behind me and my card keeps getting declined? Beep, beep, beep.
Si está bien
to that all night?
Shyness goes, the right words and gestures are suddenly there, the power to captivate others are felt certain.
Thank you. Our next event is a short gift from one of the graduates of the conservatory, Anna Sophia Botti, who did her other degree, her dual degree in the Division of Social Studies. And she will play for us the scherzo from the Second Sonata, Opus 14, written in 1912 by the Russian composer Sergei Prokofiev, who was born in 1891 and died in 1953. I want now to turn to the Vice President for Student Affairs and the Dean of Civic Engagement, Erin Cannan. The advantage of this medium to celebrate the class of 2020 is that we don't have to pretend that everything that college is about happens in the classroom. So much of that is significant in our experiences as college students, and what we remember happened outside of the classroom. Some we like talking about, some we don't like talking about, but most of it is really the development of community and a sense of connection to our fellow classmates and to the world around us. The residential college is a very special thing, and its importance is only underscored by this pandemic. Erin started as one of the assistant deans in student life and rose to become the vice president, and had a very crucial hand together with Jonathan Becker in building out the Center for Civic Engagement. So it's with pleasure that I turn the floor over to her.
Hi, everyone. You may know me as one of those pesky get out the vote people, or the occupier of your inbox. I'm the one who sends out lots of emails about opportunities. Come to this event or apply to this grant. Maybe after a while you blocked my emails, I understand. I'm one of the staff members at the Center for Civic Engagement that works on bringing theory to practice. I'm heavily involved in action-oriented aspects of campus life in student affairs and in civic engagement. BARD is a place that combines a deep dive into the life of the mind, as well as a deep dive into engagement in the world. It is a place where imagination and beauty are encouraged and sought. BARD is many things. Campus is really different right now. But yet BARD has been and will be reimagined every year. It is a new place all of the time, and that's due to you. It is a physical place in a particular time and space. BARD's geography is ancient, and tens of thousands of people have lived here over the years, over thousands of years. And many have come here to live, to work, to love, to learn, to act. The class of 2020 occupies a very particular spot in this continuum with a very particular relationship to this space. I thought we could briefly take campus over again in our imagination, and that we could do it through our own memories. So let's occupy that space together again for just a minute. Let's all put ourselves in that space using our collective imagination. If I could, I would require you to take out a piece of paper and write something down. But instead, put your feet on the ground and sit up. I want you to remember back to a moment when your imagination was really sparked at BARD, where the notion of a life of the mind was stretched. Maybe when ideas for your senior project were first crystallized, or where you were when you finished your first real research project or finished hanging your moderation show, or the exhaustion and exhilaration you felt after performing. Remember the quiet of the RKC or of the library late at night? Find that moment in your memory. Ground yourself in that moment. Remember the smells, the sounds, the weather. Remember the clarity you had about your own ability to think. That moment when you synthesized an idea. Now let's take a minute together to put you back in that space, in that time, in that geography. Thank you.
One of the most frequently asked questions that we get is what is a liberal arts education? And even why go to college? Those of you graduating each of you has an answer. What we often say is there are two basic motivations. One is a very practical one. You know, what am I going to do with my life? How am I going to spend my life, both as a private person and as a citizen? And that links to a kind of connection between education and career and work. The other is more about what kind of person would I like to be, and what kind of life would I like to lead in terms of what I believe in and how I spend my time apart from having to earn a living. And BARD has both kinds of programs that people go to, and a kind of pre-professional track. Conservatory is a good example, but there are others, and they lead directly to medicine, to law, uh, and very defined professions. And then there just the study of the liberal arts, everything from English to philosophy to economics to science, for its own sake, without a clear idea of whether it's useful to oneself. And just because there is an irrepressible curiosity and ambition to learn and know how to do things. And what distinguishes BARD is that the arts, the doing of art, not only studying it, but doing it, is part of everyone's opportunity to fashion an education for themselves without necessarily determining whether it should be a career or not. The next presentation by Idao Ho is by a graduate of the music program, not the conservatory, and also one of the 25 students who did a double degree, 2 senior projects, and his other senior project was in mathematics. So he will play probably the most famous piece ever written for violin alone, which has the famous Chaconne in it, written by Johann Sebastian Bach in 1720. And so please welcome Idao Ho. At many events like this, dinners and award ceremonies, we try to connect the graduating class with the alumni. And I'm delighted that because his work is close by here in Kingston, primarily, that Harry Johnson from the class of 17 volunteered to say a few words to the class of 2020. Harry Johnson is one of the two people who created a program called Brothers at Bard. This was begun while he was an undergraduate, and what it does is provides mentoring and teaching and tutoring to men of color of high school age and then beyond, high school age, college, and beyond. This program has been a fantastic success in that it has helped a community that was entirely neglected here in our own Hudson Valley in Kingston, and they are now expanding because of the model they developed into other places, including New York City. So I want to thank him for doing this, and please pay attention now to Harry Johnson from the class of 17.
Class of 2020, what a time it is to be graduating in. You know, I really have to admit that I'm a bit jealous. I'm jealous of the fact that President Obama was your commencement speaker, that your class shirt was designed by Travis Scott. But most importantly, I'm jealous of your opportunity to step into the world, a world that will never look the same again. You know, Adrienne Marie Brown, the author of Emergent Strategy, a must read, she says that we're all living in the ancestral imaginations of others with their longing for safety and abundance, a longing that did not include the majority of us. You know, there's no better time to be asked to create the imagined futures of tomorrow. As you look for your way forward after graduation, so does the entire world. Take advantage of this moment and let your imagination run free. From one Bardian to another, congratulations on entering the world at a moment where all we have is the space to think and imagine our collective futures. Congratulations to the class of 2020. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Thank you, Harry. I appreciate your doing this. And our next event is a small greeting from a member of the government of the United States. If anything has become clear is that whatever political persuasion one might be, that without a functioning and competent government dealing with something as significant and as dangerous as this pandemic is impossible. We can't do this simply as individuals. And so I was very pleased when the senior senator of New York, Chuck Schumer, offered to simply congratulate the class of 2020 with a brief message. Senator Schumer.
Hello to Bard College. This is Senator Chuck Schumer, and it's my honor to address the faculty and staff, families and friends of the graduates, but most of all, you, class of 2020. As we all know, these are really difficult times, perhaps more difficult than most of us have ever experienced. Our society will overcome this pandemic, and so will you. And when the worst is over, we'll need your help to rebuild our country even stronger than it was before. You are our future leaders, and we have faith in you. So to the graduates, I say once again, congratulations, good luck, Godspeed.
We now turn to the final presentation of this celebration of the class of 2020. Before we turn to it, I want once again to thank the faculty, the staff, particularly Deborah Pemstein, who helped organize this impromptu celebration. I want to wish each and every one of you in the class of 2020 a very healthy summer, We will have all the speeches and all the celebratory events in baccalaureate, the senior dinner, the awards ceremony, and commencement at the end of August. And we can reflect on where we are, and we can encourage you further. We're very proud of your capacity for improvisation, for your sense of purpose, and for your sense of obligation to your neighbors and to the society as a whole. We are extremely proud of the international character of our student body and the tremendous originality that it displays. And so we thought the best thing to do is to give the class of 2020 the last word, in a way, as we wish them well for the summer months. So after we say goodbye to you and thank you for tuning in to this event, you will see a rolling list by alphabetical order of the members of the class of 2020 on the undergraduate degree track, who will then graduate formally at the end of August. Welcome the class of 2020.